What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So guys, channel membership is now live. Link is in the description and the first comment. Do check it out. That would really help support the channel. So let's start this video with an update from Carlos Thomas Jr. A couple of weeks after his last show, which was Detroit Pro this year. Still holding it pretty well. Now, his first ever Arnold Ohio this year. That was a real eye-opener and a humbling experience for him. And seeing the difference in the quality of physiques that he went up against at this year's Arnold Ohio, and that too up close, he would be more cautious about making all of these statements in the future that he's gonna compare extremely well with a guy like Derek Lunsford, a former Mr. Olympia champion. Now Carlos's case was such a prime example of how a guy was being considered the dark horse going into this show, and then he just lost all of his hype the moment he stepped on that Arnold stage, and he did not even get the opportunity to stand next to those top 6 guys at that show because the conditioning simply just wasn't there. He was just far too off compared to all of these other top guys. Now 4 weeks after the Arnold Ohio this year, he did that Detroit Pro, which was an even bigger disappointment and an even bigger blow to his reputation because not being able to make top 5 in that lineup, that was a clear-cut indication to go back to the drawing board one more time, go back into the off-season and fix all those areas that needed fixing. For instance, the most obvious one, the back, the biggest lagging area in his physique, and also his overall condition. So when he made his pro debut at Texas Pro back in 2023, a few of those people out there who saw him in person, they claimed that Carlos is gonna have a very difficult time achieving that see-through skin because that just isn't how his genetics are. They were right about that. So the guy took almost 2 years to make his return to the stage again. And in terms of the overall detail, there just wasn't any drastic difference. And maybe it has something to do with his health condition, which is called ulcerative colitis. And the thing is that condition worsens as he gets closer to the competition. And that is why he's trying to balance things out. So most of us do agree that he should have stuck with Patrick Tour and let him peak for Detroit Pro because that was just 4 weeks after this past Arnold Ohio. Instead, he went for self-coaching because if anything, he actually got worse from the Arnold Ohio to Detroit Pro a few weeks later. So what do you guys think? Should Carlos continue to compete or should he dive right back into another off-season? So there is something very unique about those Persian bodybuilders. Nobody gets more peeled and more shredded than all of these guys. We have seen that with Hadi Chopin, Behrouz Tabani, and now we have another veteran IFBB pro, Sasan, pushing conditioning to a whole new level in the 2 shows that he just did, Detroit Pro and FIBO Germany. So Chris Aceto, his coach, he's most likely gonna feed Sasan big time for this upcoming Cali Pro, as we still have more than 4 weeks to go till he has to step on the stage again. But none of us would be even remotely surprised if Sas shows up in that same condition as we saw from him in Detroit and FIBO Germany, or maybe something even better than that. I mean, look at those quads, the deep abs. The guy was almost at the brink of beating top 5 Olympian, the Mona Lisa of bodybuilding, Andrew Jacked. And there is a huge percentage of the bodybuilding community who feel that Andrew, he should have been penalized for showing up in that sort of condition, especially from the back. Now California Pro this year, that just isn't gonna be an easy show either. Regan Grimes has also made it official that he's in for this upcoming Cali Pro. And once again, it's gonna be that sharp conditioning of Sasan against that outrageous structure of Regan and possibly Michael Krizo as well. Now based on the past track record, we can assume that Regan just cannot reach that level of sharpness and conditioning as Sasan Hirati. But we are talking about here from the past experience. Unless of course Stefan, he works his magic with Regan and peaks him better than ever, better than Milo Sorsev ever did. Now Sasan has got 2 raw placings so far in 2025, and both those placings, they were against some of the biggest names in the men's open right now, William Bonac and Andrew. So there is a high likelihood that he's gonna make it to this year's Olympia stage. So will he continue to diet all the way till Spain Pro if he wins this upcoming Cali Pro? Well, that is an unanswered question, and we're gonna have to wait and see. Guys, we have a limited time offer. If you buy any flavor of Bloodshot, you are gonna get a free Dying Breed t-shirt. The discount code is on the screen right now, and use the code FAZI10 to get 10% extra discount. So the coach with the most Olympia wins in the history of this game, Hani Rambod, he officially retired last year after coaching Chris Bumstead at Prague Pro last year. But kind of seems like that he's still connected with the best guys in the world. Well, he did say himself that he's only retired from that elite coaching scene. So this is the second on-camera session of Terrence Ruffin with Hani Rambod, going through a very tough workout and complete posing session as well. Now, I believe this was taken at 3 weeks out from this year's Pittsburgh Pro, and kind of safe to say that Terrence is right on target. In fact, he's gonna be ready a little early, so that 5-second hold on all of those poses, especially post-workout, that must be the most difficult thing to execute. But Terrence with zero shaking while executing all of those poses, that just goes to show us that the man is one of the best posers in the entire pro league right now. To think that he weighs just over 180 pounds here, that is absolute insanity, because he looks like a monster for his height. So this is a very complete package, front to back, and all those areas that Terrence is working to improve the most. They are his biceps and his hamstrings. Now the arms, which were always Terrence's most lagging body parts, they look very improved as well. So I think we are about to see not only the biggest, but the best version of Terrence to ever step on the stage at this upcoming Pittsburgh Pro. Next up, we have another physique update from Blessing Avutibu. So his upper body is changing very fast, faster than his lower half, and he made such a timely decision of skipping this year's Pittsburgh Pro and also the New York Pro, because first of all, both these shows, they have such deep lineups for a guy like Blessing, and there were literally no chances for him winning either of those shows. And secondly, he would have had to push extremely damn hard to get ready for both these shows, because looking at the condition on his lower body, it's pretty much clear that he isn't looking to do any show in May, because there just isn't enough time to get truly peeled and ripped to the bone while maintaining all that mass. So Blessing not being able to do well at his last show, that wasn't because of lack of conditioning. He had such an obvious imbalance between his upper and lower half, and he stood next to guys like Regan and Nathan Diasha, and both these guys exposed the hell out of him. So if Blessing is really smart and his main goal, that is to earn his Olympia spot for this year, then China Pro in June, that could be his ticket to the Olympia this year. He just isn't beating a guy like Behrouz Tabani in Dubai or in Italy, and there is nothing wrong with playing your cards right. So if Blessing wins his show in June, he can have another mini off-season before starting the Olympia prep. Now Blessing has been training with Brad Wilkin, so we can guarantee one thing, that both these guys, they must be pushing each other to their absolute limits. Next up, we have the physique update from a guy who potentially has the smallest waistline in classic physique division right now, Niall Darwin. So the prep hasn't started just yet, and this is how his waist is looking right now, when the man is really pushing his weight, and this is scary lean for being 260 pounds. I believe Niall has all the goods to make the biggest noise this year in classic, and there is no question that he's gonna qualify for the Olympia this year. The bigger question is, how high can he place among those top 10 guys in the world? So last year at his Olympia debut, he was 11th, but that structure right there, that just screams out loud that this is as classic as it gets. His quads has such an awesome sweep with that tiny waistline and such wide lats. Now he would have definitely worked on making his arms look bigger in this offseason, because that is gonna complete his look even more. And based on the last two shows that he did last year, the Olympia and the Muscle Contest Brazil against Ramon Dino, we can safely say that he has the ability to get pretty damn shredded front to back. So Niall went up against Ramon Dino in one of those post-Olympia shows, and he placed third in that show. But there is a picture of him doing a front double biceps next to Ramon. That picture alone signifies how crazy good that structure is, and sky is the limit for this man. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.